Why Facebook and Instagram have been failing. I think that Facebook has kind of been has been falling off. I'm not surprised though.
Facebook stock price has fallen by over 50% in only 7 months. What's going on? Well, let's begin by looking at the day on which this price decline began. The 2nd of February 2022, when the parent company of Facebook and Instagram lost $230 billion of value in less than 24
Jesus
hours. Just to give you an idea
what
about how much money $230 billion is, the total GDP of New Zealand, being the value of every single product or service produced by the entire country for the whole year, was only 210 billion, which is less than what Facebook lost in a day.
In one
so
day.
What went wrong on this fateful day in February when Meta set the record for the highest one-day value decline in stock market history? To put it simply, this was the day on which Facebook revealed to the public that both their site usage and revenue has been declining.
Oh yeah, of
Shown
course.
on screen is a graph displaying
sense.
the amount of daily active Facebook users over the last 10 years. For every quarter besides the first 3 months of the pandemic, growth in the Facebook user base was almost strangely consistent. However, if we take a look at late 2021, for the first time in the website's history, user growth flattened off substantially. When looking at the graph for monthly Facebook users as opposed to daily Facebook users, the data is similar. Only 0.1% growth from...
Well, it's like you reach a point of like market saturation. Like everybody knows what Facebook is. Everybody knows what Instagram is. So like if you're not on it right now, it's not like, oh shit, Facebook, it's time to actually go get this. So like most of the people that like, where is that new audience coming from? That new audience is coming from young people, right? There's new people that are 13 years old getting on social media for the first time every single year, right? That's how time works. But all of those 13-year-olds are going on TikTok or something like that, or Twitter even, mostly TikTok and other websites like that, instead of Facebook. Very few of them are going on Facebook. That's what their parents use.
October to January, 0.8% from January to April, and then even a decline of 0.07% from April to July. Surprisingly, or perhaps unsurprisingly, Instagram follows a similar trend to Facebook. Nothing but growth from 2015 until 2021, at which point stagnation hits. Why? Well, the first reason behind Facebook and Instagram's user growth stagnation is somewhat of an impressive problem. They're battling with human population limits and have run out of new countries to expand into. Of the 8 billion people on Earth, 3 billion log into Facebook at least once a month, leaving 5 billion people that don't use them.
Bro, that's fucking insane. That's almost half the world using a website. Oh my god.
The service regularly. Of these 5 billion remaining, 1.7 billion live in countries such as China, Iran, and Russia, where Facebook and Instagram have been banned by the government, leaving only 3.3 billion who aren't using the service. According to an article written by the New York Times, another 3 billion do not use the internet at home or on their phones, and in some of the world's most populated countries, including Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Nigeria, a majority of people are not online.
I think that's important to keep in mind whenever anybody thinks that they're unlucky, talking about how unlucky they are, on the internet, or, they're commenting on YouTube like, oh man, things just haven't really been going well for me, I'm kind of fucked over in life. Think about how many people literally don't even have access to the internet. Isn't that crazy? And like you RNG to spawn that is automatically putting you at an advantage over them that is astronomical. Like you can look up and find out how to become a mechanic, how to learn about engineering, how to learn about, like heart surgery, anything like that on the internet. And these people don't have it. So it's important to keep in mind, it's always easy to look at people that have more than you. But sometimes it's important also to look at people that have less and remind yourself that, it could be worse.
If you then factor in another 15% of the global population who are under the age of 10, making them too young to use social media at all, then pile on the hordes of people who have made a deliberate effort to boycott social media altogether, Facebook and Instagram's problem becomes obvious. They're running out of humans. In an article written by Time titled Inside Facebook's Plan to Wire the World, it explains how Zuckerberg is working to literally provide the entire third world with the internet because it's now the only way that Meta can reach new people. Connecting the entire world would actually literally be possible unless everybody in the world were on the internet. So
Yeah, of
Zuckerberg has
course.
decided to make sure everybody is. This sounds like the kind of thing you say you're gonna do but never actually do, but Zuckerberg is doing it.
Of course he is, because those are people that are going to use his website and make him more fucking money. Of course he wants to go out to these like random African tribes and be like, hey, you want to join Facebook? You know, and they don't know what the fuck Facebook is. They've never seen a computer before. But hey, you know, you got to get them on there.
He is in Chandali today on a campaign to make sure that actually literally every single human being on Earth has an internet connection.
Oh my God.
We really want to get the next billion people online. And if we can play a role, then that's something that I personally care a lot about.
Is it selfish for Zuckerberg to connect the entire world to the internet just so he can get more people onto Facebook and Instagram? Or is it a win-win situation for everyone?
It's definitely a win-win situation for everyone. Because at no point in time is he compelling them to use Facebook. Yeah, this is absolutely a good thing.
That's an ethical conundrum for you to consider. However, this might not even be the main problem, as Meta isn't only running out of new people to introduce the services to, but those who are currently active on the services are departing in droves. Somewhat hilariously, Facebook has lost 1% or 30 million of its users to that pesky little thing known as death, and with 12.1% of Facebook's user base being over the age of 55, this number will inevitably increase as time progresses.
Very
Yet
true.
Facebook should probably be less worried about the boomers and a little more concerned about the zoomers, as Facebook's biggest loss in user count stems from the younger generation.
Well, yeah, it's kids. Like, no kid who's like 14 is going to make a Facebook, man. And one of the other reasons why people don't want to make Facebooks is because Facebook asks for your personal information. Nobody wants to put their fucking last name, their phone number, and their address on the fucking internet anymore. That's just the truth. Like, they don't want to do that anymore. Like, because, like, at the beginning, you would do that, and it's like, oh, well, it's fine. What could go wrong? Well, now we've spent 10 years finding out every single thing that could go wrong. So now I think that just on a fucking, just getting into it, you have all these massive red flags that you just never want to do.
Back in 2018, Facebook demographics began to follow a very interesting trend. There was an increase in users from the older generation, little change from those in their middle age, and a pretty substantial loss in users from those under the age of 25.
I also think that one of the reasons for that is because a lot of times Facebook has like more, I guess you could say, like conservative leaning media, and older people are probably more conservative. Like every time that you hear about like memes about how the COVID virus is actually, you know, like some sort of like weird microchip, most of those things come out of Facebook. You see what I'm saying? And like none of these things are like a causal factor. It's like all of them coming together, and it's like they are all the sum. Like there's the whole, but there's a lot of parts that make up the whole. So this is like 10%, 15%, something like that.
1 year later in 2019, another piece of data was published supporting a similar trend, only to a more severe degree. There was a slight increase from the oldies, barely any change for the middle-aged crowd, and again a massive 17% decline in only 2 years for those using Facebook under the age of 34.
Really appreciate them putting my age in the younger group. By the way, it's really, really nice of them to do that. So I can still feel like, you know what I mean? And so, anyway, I don't really use Facebook a lot anymore, right? Like, I don't really like using it. Now, every time I go on Facebook, there's a bunch of the previously hot girls that I would hang out with, or actually, no, let me rephrase this, hot girls that I knew that they were hot, but I would never actually talk to them, and they would never talk to me. Well, yeah, now they're fat and they have 3 kids. And I have like my friends who have gained like 150 pounds and they're having health problems. It's like if I ever want to have a fucking existential crisis, I log on to Facebook. That's what I do. Yeah, like fuck that, man. It's awful.
After seeing this data, it's no surprise that Facebook has also earned the title of a social media's retirement home. It's definitely developed a reputation as a platform mainly used by the older generation.
Boomers,
the problem with this is that the younger generation wants to use whichever social media app their friends are on, as opposed to the app that their grandma is on.
I think that it's also that the kids don't want to use an app that is full of a bunch of adults. Like whenever you're 15 years old, you don't want to be in a space with a bunch of people that are 55. You want to be in a space around other 15-year-olds, other kids. So, like, whenever you're on Facebook and you see, like, there's all these fucking old people, it's like, get the fuck is this? Like, you feel uncomfortable, right? I mean, I know, like, whenever I was a kid, it was even weird whenever I was in, like, high school and there'd be people that were, like, 20. It's like, wow, like, this person's, like, this is, like, a full fucking adult. I'm, like, 16 or something like that. And even though it was only 4 years away, it's just a completely different fucking situation.
This might also account for why it's become such a trend for young people to hate on Facebook. Who the hell uses Facebook anymore is without a doubt something you've heard from a friend or your favorite large influencer, and it seems as though this attitude is doing serious damage to the platform, as when looking at the most recent data for how many youngsters are using the platform in 2022, the numbers begin to get scary.
It's really crazy how YouTube has held such a fucking like a high level of engagement of kids for like over 15 years. It's really impressive. Like no other platform, maybe like I guess you could say like Snapchat. Yeah, I guess that's another one. But like other than that, I mean, many of the other ones are just not really there. Google and YouTube are immune to social issues somehow. It's because they're not based around people, but they're based around content.
When US teens were surveyed in 2014 to 2015, 71% said that they used Facebook at all. However, over the last 7 years, this number has more than halved to almost 32% recently, representing the biggest decline out of any social media platform. And when looking a little closer at the graph displayed on screen, the reason becomes pretty damn obvious. Competition. Teens just don't find value in Facebook anymore. There are now well over 5 strongly positioned social media platforms to endlessly scroll through.
I do think that it is a big factor that kids don't want to be on a platform where like adults and their parents and their parents' friends can see what they're doing. I think that's a big fucking factor. Because like I know for me that was a factor.
And it isn't sustainable for our minds to compartmentalize nor prioritize our relationship with all of them. For the sake of time and sanity, people have to eliminate platforms that begin to lack a value-add incentive.
Yeah, that's
Facebook,
true.
which teens often associate with their parents, has little to offer Gen Z. Zuckerberg himself even echoed this sentiment. When Meta's stock price began to decline 7 months ago, he stated that they were facing unprecedented levels of competition and that people have a lot of choices for how they want to spend their time, and apps like TikTok are growing very quickly. Going back to the data, we can see that the Gen Z big 4 social media platforms are Snapchat at number 4, Instagram at number 3, TikTok at number 2, and YouTube way out in front with over 95% of US teens using it.
It's crazy. Like I upload sometimes on Instagram, but I do look like a homeless ghoul. So I usually spend time browsing Instagram rather than uploading on it. And TikTok, the only time I go on TikTok is to look at videos of myself to see if, you know, I had any good ones recently. Be like, yeah, that was funny. I did say that thing. That was a good one. And that's about it. I don't browse TikTok. I'm going to expose Soda Poppin'. So we were recording a video and Soda was like not recording at the time. And he was unironically scrolling through TikTok. He was actually sitting there going through watching TikTok. Yeah. Seems like a TikTok user. I can't believe it. I'm sure he'll blame it on like his girlfriend that got him into it or something like that. But, you know, just figured you guys should know that.
Examining each of these big 4 platforms, the value they add or the edge that they have is obvious. YouTube long-form video, TikTok short-form video, Instagram images and photography, Snapchat photo messaging. Even Twitter has a discernible edge as a platform for those who want to follow politics and the celebrity world. However, when looking at Facebook, the value it adds or the edge that it has isn't all that obvious. The general vibe that Facebook gives is that it's a watered-down, weaker version of the 4 most popular apps combined, and it's diversified to the point where rather than being strong in one area, it's just kind of weak in all areas. When Facebook,
I just think that a bigger factor is the fact that they make you put your real name, and they ask you for like your address and shit like that. I just think that immediately turns people off now. Like aside from any other market trends, you just have that. Like for me, if anybody ever wants me to sign up for something and I have to put down a phone number, an email address, an address, anything like that, I don't do it. It's, oh, but you get the free one. Oh, it's free? What does it cost? It costs me my fucking phone number going on your call list so you can sell it to people that have some sort of thing to sell me in 6 months. The fuck out of here. Nothing's free.
Facebook's stock price began to decline 7 months ago, Zuckerberg announced that their focus was going to be on short-form video, but it's obvious that the Facebook algorithm is poor in comparison to YouTube and TikTok, and what's the point in going on Facebook to see your friends' photos when they're posted to Instagram anyway? Facebook definitely has a bit of an edge with Messenger, but this is still in very close competition with Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and good old-fashioned text message. Perhaps this is also why Zuckerberg has started to put his focus and $10 billion into creating the metaverse. He understands that Facebook's edge lies in providing the best.
Wow, that looks pretty cool. Man, I can't wait, guys. I don't know why Mark Zuckerberg can't just, like, this guy, he's a fucking nerd. He's a nerd that apparently plays Civilization all the time and is into, like, historical, like, fucking engineering stuff. Why don't you make the metaverse in some fucking medieval world like Sword Art Online? Why don't you make something fucking cool, man? What the fuck is this horse shit? You don't even like it. What are you doing, man? Do something cool. Yeah, I mean, like, we gotta have like a woolly mammoths in it or something like that, like a horse you can ride on. That'd be awesome, like a zebra.
Circumstances for online social interaction, and if Zuckerberg can pull it off in a way that's interesting, accessible to everyone, and not cringy, it sounds like a pretty cool concept despite the online metaverse hate train. Additionally, the metaverse is theoretically a product that will appeal to the younger audience who are departing Facebook in droves.
I don't know if the younger audience would really be appealed to by a metaverse. I'm not sure if that's really true. I think that a metaverse is like an issue. It's like a solution looking for a problem. Like, I don't think people really give a shit about it.
An article written by Forbes, this was highlighted as the main reason behind the metaverse's development. If it wants an app to win back young people, it will need to build it itself. And Zuckerberg seems to feel a VR-centered metaverse will do this. We're retooling our team to make young adults our North Star, he said on last week's Wall Street conference call.
Well,
the other thing that Zuckerberg seems to have going for him is that, as highlighted by the previous data, it seems as though many of Facebook's young former users are simply migrating to his other product, Instagram, which is clearly not in the same dire straits that Facebook is in. However, it's not like Instagram hasn't been without complaints recently. What the hell is going on with the new Instagram update, May 2022? Why has Instagram changed? The app looks different and users hate it. June 2022. Why is
there anybody that gives a fuck about this? Like, I've used Instagram for like 10 years or something. I don't give a fuck what the app is like as long as I can look at pictures. Like, I don't know, I just navigate it. Like, I literally just don't give a fuck. It's like, it's annoying for a couple of days whenever they change the way the website works, but then I just get used to it again, and it's like, okay, well, whatever. I don't know. Maybe I don't care about it enough for it to be annoying to me.
Everyone's saying Instagram is rubbish now, and what's TikTok got to do with it? July 2022. All of these articles touch on the exact same current complaint about Instagram. It's drifting away from its roots in an attempt to become TikTok.
That's something that Twitter and also YouTube are doing. YouTube is doing it with Shorts. Twitter has been trying to do it with incentivizing uploading videos, things like this. A lot of the different companies are trying to, TikTok pretty much has the whole pie right now in terms of like really short form VOD content. And I think that all of these other platforms are trying to get a piece of that pie. Snapchat too, yeah. Shorts are fucking stupid. I don't think it's a problem. Like, I like Shorts on YouTube. I don't think they're an issue. They're not an issue to me at all. I think they're funny.
It used to be a place for pictures of food, travel, maybe short videos in stories. Like Facebook, your Instagram feed was mostly filled with people you know, or brands or influencers you chose to follow. That's all changed now though. It seems Instagram is trying to be TikTok.
Yeah.
As a result of these drastic changes to the platform, Kendall Jenner and Kim Kardashian would both post a story for their combined 686 million Instagram followers stating, "Make Instagram again. Stop trying to be TikTok, I just want to see cute photos of my friends. Sincerely, everyone." However, it's not like celebrities have been the only ones to notice such changes. If I really wanted another TikTok on my phone, I would have downloaded TikTok. What's up with the Instagram feed? Y'all are supposed to be competing, not copying, LMAO. This new Instagram immersive feed has got to be one of the worst updates to an app I have ever seen, LOL. In a split second, my Instagram turned into TikTok, with my mostly photography feed turning into video. I love TikTok for what it is, but this is bullshit. They've ruined Instagram. What's even funnier is that despite despite making all of these changes, an article published this month by the Wall Street Journal outlined that Instagram is still nowhere near competing with TikTok. The article stated, Instagram users cumulatively are spending 17.6 million hours a day watching Reels, less than 1/10 of the 197.8 million hours TikTok users spend each day on that platform.
Holy
Reels
shit.
engagement had been falling, down 13.6% over the previous 4 weeks, and that most Reels users have no engagement whatsoever. When referring back to Instagram's quarterly revenue chart, these negative changes seem to reflect in the flatline seen over the last 12 months. Is Instagram running into the same problem as Facebook, trying to compete with everything whilst losing their edge in the process?
I think the reality is that
Facebook.
The reality is a lot of people, I think, with Facebook just don't want to put in their personal info. It's literally just that simple, in my opinion. I think the moment that you ask somebody to put in their address, to put in their fucking phone number, to put in their last name, most people nope the fuck out of it real quick. And I think also with Instagram trying to become more like TikTok, yeah, I do think that's a problem. And ultimately, I'm not surprised they're trying to do it. I think that the issue is not that Instagram is trying to compete with TikTok. It's that Instagram is cannibalizing the already existing audience that they have and the type of content that they've been providing in order to provide things that are supposed to compete with TikTok instead of that. So I think that's really what the issue is. I don't think people would care if there were Reels if they were just in like another section that you just don't have to click on. But whenever they're being pushed onto your feed over and over and over, then I think people are going to be annoyed because they're being bombarded with this thing that they did not sign up for. And I can see why people are frustrated about that. For me, I guess, like, I don't know, like, I don't really, it sounds weird, but like, I literally just don't give a fuck about this at all. Like, every time I go on Instagram, if I see a stupid picture or something like that, I just scroll all the way down and I'm like, nope. And I see another picture, I'm like, nope, I don't want to see it. And I don't even really think about it. Like, I'm very good. I mean, like, with reading streams and everything like that, watching streams and reading chat and everything. Like, I'm very good at just, like, tuning out things that I don't want to see. And so that's generally what I do. As what happens, new thing blows up, takes over every few years. Yeah, well, I think that the small videos have been popular for a long time. I mean, Vine was popular 10 years ago. TikTok has a lot of the same stuff that Vine has or had. So it's really no surprise at all. You don't even think about it? Yeah, I don't even think about it. It's just like, it's turned off. And what's this here? Just like YouTube Shorts, you get bombarded with it, and then TikTok reposts. I'm not sure exactly. Like, I don't really get a whole lot of YouTube Shorts. I mean, sometimes whenever I do, like, let me go back and I'll look at, let's see here. And so these are just like random YouTube shorts here. I don't give a, like, I mean, I probably would never click any of these. I don't really care. So like whenever I see it, I just scroll down. I don't really, I don't pay it any mind. I don't really get mad about, I don't know. I just see it. I'm like, that's dumb, and that's it. Every once in a while, there's a funny one or something like that. But in general, I just don't give a fuck. Yeah, but I do think that there's an audience for shorts and stuff like that. I don't think shorts are a bad thing for YouTube, I guess. Facebook trying so hard to become an all-in-one app. Yeah, I think that some people don't want that. They want to have things compartmentalized for different reasons. I think this is a pretty good video, though. I mean, like, obviously, it's one of those things that, like, everybody kind of knows that Facebook has been kind of falling off, but it's one thing to know it. It's another thing to see the graphs. I watch a lot of Sunny's videos. If you guys like his videos, you should definitely subscribe and follow them. They're great. YouTube Shorts are so much better than TikTok. Just the content is less retarded. I don't know, man. Like, I just watch whatever I watch. Like, I guess, like, I don't have, like, that much of an opinion about it. The shorts on YouTube are optimized for mobile users? Yeah, maybe.